Hello, future Red Hawks. My name is Mrs. Spano. I'm here in the Marist Science Wing, and I'm going to bring you a short little science experiment that you can do from home. Have you ever wondered why ice floats in water? So I have a beaker full of ice water here, and clearly the ice is floating, just like it does when you make yourself ice water at home. The ice always floats. Why does that happen? Who knows? It starts with a D. Density. The less dense substance is going to float, and the more dense substance is going to sink. The density of ice, according to the research that I did on density of common materials, is 0.90 grams per milliliter. And the density of water is always 1.0 gram per milliliter. So if you look at your house and see what other liquids you have that you could do some research on, you have around the house, and find out what the density is, you can do an experiment to see if when you pour these densities together, they separate in the right order. So I have vegetable oil here, which a lot of you may have at home. And according to the information I found out online, there's lots of density of common materials, there's lots of tables. The density of vegetable oil is 0.93 grams per milliliter. So if water is 1.0, the vegetable oil should line up on top of the water. Okay? Also, I have mineral oil here that I'm going to use. And the density of mineral oil is 0.84. So in this experiment, if I'm looking at the densities of these substances, mineral oil is the least dense and water is the most dense when I'm looking at all three of these. And by the way, my water is colored green. I just used some food coloring just so that I would be able to distinguish between water and mineral oil because both are clear. And the vegetable oil is yellow, so we'll be able to distinguish between that. So here we go. We're gonna pour them in this graduated cylinder and see if they line up. Most dense on the bottom, least dense on the top. Let's try it out. And you can try it out with any liquids you have at home as well. And make sure that they're different colors. And if they're not, you might want to add food coloring to one of the liquids so that you can differentiate between all the liquids to see if this experiment actually works. Okay, so let's see. The most dense is water. So let's not put that in yet. Let's put vegetable oil in first. So we're going to put some vegetable oil in this graduated cylinder. So that's my vegetable oil. And remember, vegetable oil had a density of 0.93, right? And water has a density of 1.0. So when I pour my water in there, should it be on top or on bottom? It should be on the bottom because it's more dense. So let's see if that is actually the case. So I'm just going to pour it in carefully, let it drip against the walls of the graduated cylinder. And again, you don't have a graduated cylinder at home, and so you can use any kind of cup that you may have. Interesting. I poured the water on top of the vegetable oil, but it sunk to the bottom, and you can clearly see that the water is on bottom with a density of 1, and the vegetable oil is on top with a density of 0.93. So then what should happen to the mineral oil? The mineral oil has a density of 0.84 grams per milliliter. So when we pour it in, it shouldn't sink to the bottom or the middle. It should stay right at the top. Let's see if that actually happens. And again, I'm going to pour it slowly against the walls of the container. And it did. So we have very distinguishable white mineral oil, yellow vegetable oil, and then green water. And so if we decided to put another liquid in there that has a density between water and vegetable oil, it should go right in between the water and the vegetable oil. They line up by densities. There are lots of liquids that you can try this with at home. You could use vinegar, you could use hydrogen peroxide, you could use water, vegetable oil, corn syrup. You just have to look up the densities And then you want to think before you do it, how are these supposed to line up? And you can add them to your cup or your graduated cylinder or your water bottle in any order that you want, and they will move. The liquids will stay together and move to the appropriate place in your column. And you could make all different colors to your liquids so that you have like a rainbow, and it could look super cool. Have a good day, guys.